All right, hey everybody, Rebecca Robbins here. This is case study 1.1, and I thought for my format today, I could just do a little, I don't know, YouTube video sort of a deal, where I just kind of talk, which is my my particular talent is the gift of gab. So anyways, if I were on YouTube, I would tell you to be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below on HPI Chats with Rebecca. That's my new channel. So anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so who is the company that we are looking at? It is called Boutique Marketing, not their real name, but they are located in Boston. And what they do is they provide marketing services and targeted campaigns on social media and email. So like in my imagination, I think they're probably working with clients like, perhaps Old Navy, and they're using analytics to decide like what particular marketing campaign should particular people receive. Okay. So here's some really great news. They have some awesome employees who are creative, who are high performance, who are high performing. However, the issue is that because they're so awesome, other marketing firms are recruiting them. So they have this sort of like revolving door of employees, which is not good for anybody. Well, maybe good for the employees who are finding opportunities, but it's not good for the company because they're just having to spend so much time training new folks. So okay, how did they diagnose the problem? They started out with some interviews with the leadership, the three owners of the company. They also conducted an employee engagement survey, which kind of informed some of the questions of those interviews. And throughout that process, they decided that they had two goals. And so their first goal was to retain the top talent. And then also leadership decided, well, while we're doing this whole HPI process, let's go ahead and identify and enact on any improvements that we may find are needed for our business and our organizational structure. So that's kind of where their problem landed and their goals. So what did they do? What were some of their interventions and solutions? They first started with these vision meetings, and these included everyone in the company. It wasn't just the top leadership or management positions. It was everyone in the entire company got together to discuss, well, what do we want to see this company do in the future? And out of these discussions came some really important ideas. So maybe a new onboarding process is needing, a mentoring program, client-centered organizational structure, maybe a communications team, a sustainability charter. So this was a super important step in the process because all of these ideas were generated from everyone being together, everyone having a voice. And I'll get back to that a little bit later. But the results from that were that they did create a new organizational structure in the company. They also created the sustainability team. And I thought it was really interesting that it wasn't just sustainability in the terms of like, let's go paperless, but it was about sustainability of people and planet, which I love a good alliteration. So this really hit with me. So they developed new things to help sustain their people, even like things like a Friday happy hour, and then planet wise, they started some new greens initiatives at their company, and they were already a paperless company. So they thought, well, how can we extend that? They created a new onboarding program. Before, they had this like very haphazard kind of, when someone new comes, okay, we'll train them, we'll do this. But this was like a kind of a structured program. And then they also created a new mentoring program. So those are the results of this HPI process. So what did everybody learn from this whole deal? So the leadership in the organization learned one thing I thought this like really struck a chord with me. Leadership reported that they learned how to be patient because at the beginning of the whole process, they felt like, oh, we already know like what needs to be done. So like, why do we have to waste this time with like talking to people and blah blah blah? So they learned patience of going through the process and also the value in listening to everyone. Another interesting lesson they learned was about changes in personnel, because even though all of these changes did result in a retention of employees, there were two employees that after all of these structural changes happened, ended up just like not being a good cultural fit for the company, and they ended up being let go. And so two new folks came in to fill those positions, but the positions changed a little bit to align more with the company's new values. And it was a really good change for everyone. And then also, something that they learned was this idea about the minority voice, because the whole sustainability committee and efforts came from one single comment that someone made in one of the vision meetings. And it was just like literally one person made an offhand comment. But after that first comment was made, more voices joined in and said like, oh yeah, that would be a good idea. Oh yeah, I think that's kind of a cool idea. Um, and so it's really important that even if it's just one person who's making a suggestion, that doesn't mean that they are to be ignored or that it's not important, because other folks might be thinking the same thing. They just haven't like gotten there yet. So the importance of listening to that minority voice, even if it's just one person. And I like this little graphic that says good things take time, because it kind of goes with their very first lesson. And I might even argue one of the most important lessons is that, you know, good things take time. Doing them well is worth it. And your first assumption and maybe what you think is the best solution might not be the best solution. I think we can all relate to that with like if you teach in K-12, maybe administration has this like great new solution for this problem, and it's implemented before even asking anyone what they think, and it just flops. I'm sure you all can relate to that. So that's what like being listened to all the voices of everyone is super important. So what did I learn? Everyone deserves a seat at the table. Just because your title is not manager or assistant principal or principal doesn't mean that you don't deserve a seat at the table when talking about these huge structural changes in the vision. What I really, so I'm a big Hamilton fan. So the song The Room Where It Happens, you know, how Aaron Burr wants to be in the room where it happens. We all deserve to be in the room where it happens, where the decisions are made. So we all deserve a seat at the table. And then the second thing that I learned was to not be afraid of voicing my own opinions or my own concerns, even if I'm the only one to hold that opinion. Because it might be the case that other folks are thinking the same thing and they just haven't said it yet. Or it might be that I'm bringing a really unique idea to the table that no one might have thought of yet. So don't let fear prevent or come in the way of kind of telling it like it is, you know, letting people know your opinions. So some implications for our HBI project. We are still in the process of kind of fine-tuning our problem. I think we're going to be talking about kindergarten and first grade teachers and sort of like this anxiety level with COVID and kind of recreating the wheel all the time. But one thing that I really want to make sure we do is interview all level of folks. So everyone involved in who this problem touches, you know, the teachers, students, parents, assistant principal, paras, everyone, that media center specialists, you know, anyone that is touched by the problem, we want to hear their voice. And then another thing is just no assumptions, you know, especially if you are involved in the problem itself. You can't assume what the solution might be without going through that process. Just like the leadership at that boutique marketing kind of thought they knew what the solution would be and let's just like get on with it. they learned that that's not the best route to take. So we aren't going to take that route either. We will not make any assumptions when defining our problem. We will wait for the data and to hear the voices of everyone. So that's all I have. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for the next episode of, I can't remember what HPI with Rebecca. Okay. Bye, everybody. Okay, stop recording. Bye.